Good afternoon and welcome to Center Grove High School for today's MIC baseball game between number 5 Center Grove and Lawrence Central. Hello, one Kevin Conrad along with Rick Embry. We welcome everyone to Center Grove Trojan Baseball, proudly presented today by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. And Rick here at game time, sunny skies, 61 degrees, beautiful day for baseball.
A little bit cool, very windy. Wind's kind of gusting, kind of right to our center to right field. So we'll see if that helps. You know, the left-handed batters or the ones that can go to right field. But, yeah, we'll take it, Kevin. A little bit cool, but it's dry, and that's the main part. Main thing to think about any games that are scheduled in April.
Center Grove Trojans last night beating Lawrence Central at LC 13-0. So the Trojans now perfect in the conference at 2-0. Wins over Warren Central last week and last night against LC. Center Grove on the season 6-1. I already mentioned number 5 in Class 4A, and for the Bears, they stand at 2-1. They swept Pike in a couple of conference games and suffered their first setback last night to the Center Grove Trojans. And Rick, you look at that score last night, 13 runs for the Trojans, again, swinging the bat really well.
Yeah, and what they're doing, Kevin, and you'll notice in most of their games this year that they've won, is jumping on that opponent early, and it's such a big difference. And Drew Young pitched a fantastic game last night, but even in the paper this morning, he talked about what a big deal that is if that offense can get 3 or 4 runs early, and that's what they did last night.
Pitching tonight for the Trojans, the big right-hander, Jacob Wilson. He's a junior. Third start of the year, 1-0 on the young season. First pitch in there, called a ball, and now he comes back with a strike.
Yeah, Jacob's a very talented pitcher. Already has a verbal commit to Dayton University, and he's grown and he's really improved his fastball and a good breaking ball right there. So, he would probably admit that the first outing, that first weekend up in Noblesville, pretty cold temperatures. He wasn't the sharpest, but he kept his team in the ball game. Only gave up a couple runs, but then the last game when he pitched, he was fantastic, and another nice pitch there, and Griffin Poor throws him out at first.
One gone. That was Ahmad Duff, freshman second baseman, leading things off for the LC Bears. So with one gone, the number 2 batter, Dewan King, junior center fielder.
And when you got Wilson, who can he can hit 91, 92 with that fastball, but when he can mix in those breaking balls like he did those last 2 pitches to Duff, man, that makes him almost unhittable.
Good velocity, pops the mitt. Strike one here to King. Defensively today for the Trojans, again, Griffin Poor, senior catcher. Zach Ferguson, senior first baseman. Junior Sam Griffith at second base. Drew Culbertson, sophomore at shortstop. And Owen Guilfoy, junior at third base. In the outfield, left field, you got Matthew Sauter, junior. Center field, Mitchell Evans, also a junior. And Garrison Burrill, sophomore in right field. This one's in the dirt. He went after it, and quickly Griffin Poor tags him out. So a couple of strikeouts to begin tonight's big matchup here for the big right-hander, Jacob Wilson.
Yeah, and we would be amiss to not mention both of those curveballs were in the dirt, usually very tough for a catcher to come up with, but Griffin Poor made a couple really nice stops there. And in the first one, he threw him out at first. This time he was able to catch it cleanly out of the dirt and then just tag King for the second out. So very impressive start so far for Jacob Wilson.
Jaden Anderson, tonight's starting pitcher for the Bears. He's a senior, chatting with head coach Andy McLean before he steps in. Again, 2 gone. Top half of the first inning here at Trojan Field. Jacob Wilson off to a great start on the mound for the Trojans. Couple of strikeouts. This one's outside. Again, good velocity. Once again outside, 2 balls, no strikes to Jaden Anderson.
Yeah, a couple pitches just barely missed on the outside part, but yeah, he is behind now to Anderson.
This one just missed. 3-0 the count. Jacob Wilson so far this year, 9 innings pitched, 16 strikeouts coming into today's game. He's got a couple of strikeouts today, so he's got that up to 18, and now a walk here. So he's got 6 walks on the season. That's the first one here in tonight's ball game.
First baseman number 28, Charlie Hawk.
Yeah, and that brings probably LC's best hitter on the team, Charlie Hawk. He had one of their 2 hits last night, also pitched for LC, but he's a really good ball player here, and now he gets a chance to do something with 2 outs.
Wilson throws to first base. Keeping Anderson close. Working from the stretch. Poor hangs the sign. Hits the mitt for strike 1. A little bit of a breeze today at the moment, blowing out to right field, almost right center.
Yeah.
Again, sun is out, 61 degrees here at game time, but Rick and I in the press box in the shade a little bit with the wind. It is a little chilly. We don't quite get to enjoy the sunshine like the fans are tonight. Now blowing out to center field. This one's in the dirt. Well
Nice
done.
play.
Very tough play by Griffin Poor to block that one. 1-1 the count.
Just took that one straight off the chest, and curveball that was in the dirt and bounced in front of that plate. And we talked about that last game we did. You know, that being one of the toughest plays, as you would know, Kevin, from the catchers, when that curveball bounces in front of the plate. It could go a lot of different ways, and Poor did a picture-perfect job right there of just moving the body and just letting that catcher's chest protector knock that one down.
Anderson, decent lead at first base. This one's fouled away. I believe that's the first time an LC player's made contact with the baseball here in tonight's game.
That is true.
He's the number 4 batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Jacob Wilson striking out the leadoff batter, the number 2 batter, and then walked the number 3 batter. Checks the runner back once again.
You know, I heard a possible rule that they're looking at, Kevin, to speed up the major league game is to only allow 3 pickoff attempts to first base. That's an interesting thought there, and they said if for some reason they would decide to throw over there again, then basically you just get second base. Just
almost like a balk or something.
Yeah, exactly.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, so he gets 3 strikeouts here in the top half of the first inning. Great start for the junior right-hander, Jacob Wilson. 19 strikeouts on the season. Big baseball tonight here at Trojan Field. Number 5, Center Grove, coming to the plate. This is Center Grove Trojan Baseball being presented tonight by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Tyler, where did all these old busted up furnaces come from?
Well, Chad, they're from our customers. They really love our free furnace promo.
I don't know if we can keep this up much longer.
Free Furnace Blowout! Your final chance. Get a free Bryant furnace from Peterman when you buy a qualifying new AC system. This deal will end soon.
Whatever it takes to keep you comfortable.
Text HVAC to 41411 to claim your free furnace now.
Sophomore Drew Culberson will lead things off for the Trojans here in the bottom of the first, followed up by Sam Griffith, junior second baseman, and then Mitchell Evans, junior center fielder, in the 3-hole tonight. And Owen Guilfoy batting 4th tonight, junior third baseman. No score between CG and LC. Great half inning for Jacob Wilson, junior right-hander, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Starting tonight for LC on the mound is Jaden Anderson. He's a senior. Again, these two teams played last night. Trojans won 13-zip at LC, and Culberson went deep with his first home run last night of the season.
What an impressive start by Drew so far in his varsity career. Obviously, Drew's a sophomore, didn't have a season last year, but batting .500 on the year, like you said, first home run of the year last year. But he's got 10 hits and 12 runs, and they moved him up to that top spot in the order a couple games ago. And Drew's been swinging a fantastic bat while also filling in at shortstop, normally a position that Tyler Cerny's in, and he's been out for a few games, and Drew's just stepped in and did a fantastic job so far as a sophomore.
Anderson's outside, ball 1. Just missed the outside corner. 2 balls, no strikes.
And from the LC side of things, Kevin, this is where, I talked about Center Grove's been known to jump on teams for 3 or 4 in the first inning. It's really important to not give them free bases and not give them, and he starts out right away 3-0 on Culberson, and you walk that leadoff man, and even in the majors they talk about what a high percentage of the time that runner comes around and scores, and LC's threatening to do that right off the bat.
Taking all the way, called a strike. Outside, Culbertson is aboard with a walk.
And what you got to start looking at now, Kevin, is as we look at the stolen base totals this year for Center Grove, 23 steals and 26 attempts, and Culberson's 4 for 4 so far. And Coach Hatfield on this young season so far has not been shy about sending those guys, especially the top 3 guys in the order that have a lot of speed and have 11 stolen bases between those 3. So we'll see if he puts Culberson in motion right away with Sam Griffith up at the plate.
Griffith's batting .273. A couple of triples. Ball 1 here to Sam.
Anderson so far just struggling to find that strike zone. He's been outside.
Culbertson takes off. A good throw, but he slides in safely. Good jump.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Kevin. That's where he stole that, was from the jump. And everybody always thinks, well, he's making steals because the catcher isn't any good and he doesn't have an arm. But that was a perfect throw. I mean, he couldn't have made it anywhere better by Cooper Williams. And Culberson just stole that off the pitcher. And now it's 2-1 to Griffith. Got one on the outside corner there. That was borderline, and got the call there. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Anderson, senior, working from the stretch, looks in for the side. A quick check of the runner at second base now to the plate. Off-speed pitch, got him looking. Gets his first punch out of the night. Great location with that pitch. 1 gone.
Yeah, it was a really nice pitch there by Anderson. 2-2 count. He threw a curveball, and I think Griffith was expecting that thing to actually break more, and kind of froze him a little bit. And first out of the inning for LC.
Mitchell Evans batting third tonight, hitting .480 on the season. Leads CG with 4 doubles. Also leads CG with 2 home runs. Takes the first one in there for ball 1. Culbertson at second base. Anderson bluffs the throw to second base. Behind the plate tonight is Cooper Williams. He's a senior. Charlie Hawk Jr. at first base. Ahmad Duff, freshman, at second base. Luke Floyd is the senior shortstop. Bryson Luter, freshman, third baseman. In the outfield, Obie Wilson, senior in left field. DeJuan King is a junior in center field. And in right field, Tashawn Coleman Jr. 2 balls, no strikes here to the number 3 batter, Mitchell Evans.
And what a start to this junior season for Mitchell. Like you said, he leads Center Grove in home runs with 2, triples with 3, doubles with 4, runs with 14, and hits with 12 with a gaudy .480 batting average. So
rips this
shot.
One center field, drifting to the right
enough.
Center field.
Goodbye.
And it is a 2-run homer for Mitchell Evans. Just a matter of did it get up enough, and it did. And the Center Grove Trojans strike first here in the bottom of the first with a 2-run shot by Mitchell Evans.
Man, we talked about that at the start of the broadcast. That wind is gusting to right center to right center, and that's exactly where he got it. And you're right, Kevin. The only question was that going to get high enough, because it was such of a line drive? Was that going to get high enough to get over the fence? And it just snuck over that CG in that right center field. So tack on another home run for Mitchell Evans on this young season, number 3 for him. And Anderson got behind in the count, and that's what happens. You get behind, you got to bring fastballs, and that kid just feasts off fastballs.
Owen Guilfoyle takes the first pitch in there for ball 1. Guilfoyle starting at third base tonight, a junior. 2 balls, no strikes to Guilfoyle.
Yeah, Owen's had a fantastic start to his season as well, batting .391, leads the team with 10 RBIs on the year, a couple doubles, 1 triple.
Rips one into center field. It's going to drop in there for a single.
A little bit of an excuse me swing there, Kevin. A little bit, little breaking ball. It stayed up, and that's when you're living right. Whenever you get a little excuse me, and it was you're right. It was a bullet up to center field.
Number 5 batter, Caden Curry, junior DH.
Hitter number 2, Caden Curry.
Fouls off the first pitch. Numbers on Curry this year, batting .231. 3 runs batted in, 1 home run.
He's got to love that wind blowing out to right field, Kevin. That's when you just you're taking BP and going, oh, this is going to be my day.
Goes the other way, fouled away.
But credit Anderson so far with jumping on top 0-2, and that pitch right there was exactly what you need to do to a left-hand batter. Just stay away, and a nice pitch on the outside corner. I expect him to try to stay out there or try to get Curry to chase something ahead 0-2 in the count.
Guilfoyle at first base, 1 gone. We're in the bottom of the first, 2-0 Trojans. Lifts this one up on the left side of the field.
Shortstop's ball, yeah.
Goes back and makes the catch. Not an easy catch to make, but Luke Floyd, the senior, does make it, and it's now 2 gone.
Man, that's a great call right there, Kevin, because that ball with the wind kind of swirling, and that's definitely the shortstop's ball. Very difficult play for a third baseman to go be back going on it, and shortstop stayed with it, and it did drift on him a little bit, but he was able to make the play. So 2 outs now.
Home plate umpire said he did go around. Strike 1 here to Garrison Burrill. Batting .455. Couple of doubles. 1 home run.
Yeah.
Guilfoyle dives back into first base as, again, Anderson not throwing.
Garrison been in the lineup for the last 4 games, starting, and had a really productive start. Another sophomore there, but like you said, Kevin, 5 hits and 11 at-bats, 3 walks, 6 runs, scored a couple doubles and 1 homer, but I think they're going to give him a steady diet of curveballs so far.
The 1-1. Curveball fouled away.
3 straight curveballs that Anderson has thrown to Burrill, and now he's up in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Center Grove and Lawrence Central meeting here today for a conference game. Hard grounder up the middle. Does it get through?
Oh, nice stop.
Great stop by the shortstop. The second baseman did not realize he had made the stop, so that's going to be a single for Burrill.
Yeah, infield hit there. Looked like it was going to be one of those seeing eye singles, but a really nice effort by the shortstop, Luke Floyd, to get to it, but Guilfoyle's speed got him down to second. He did try to flip it to the second baseman, but wasn't in time, and now Center Grove's got 2 on, 2 out for the senior Zach Ferguson.
Ferguson at first base today, batting .600. Three singles and an RBI on the season. Strike 1 here to Ferguson. Batting 7th in the lineup tonight. Runners at first and second. Great opportunity here for the senior. That one's low in the dirt.
Yeah, Zach got his first start of the year last night. At first base, they moved Guilfoyle over to third base, and he responded with a couple singles and 3 at-bats. So a good start by Zach Ferguson last night.
Curveball in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher. Cooper Williams allows the runners to advance to second and third base. Guilfoyle at third. Burrill at second base. That one probably goes down as a wild pitch. It was in the dirt.
And I always know, Kevin, if it's borderline, you being a former catcher, that's always going to be a wild pitch, never a pass ball. But I would agree with you on that.
And anytime anybody steals a base, it's always stolen off the pitcher,
Exactly.
never the catcher.
Exactly.
That was fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Ferguson. Runners now in scoring position at second and third base. 2 gone. 2 runs in here for the Trojans. We're in the bottom of the first here at Trojan Field. Wind picking up, blowing more now to right field. Ooh, took something off. He did swing, got away from the catcher.
Nobody at home, and now 2 runs are going to score.
And the Trojans will score 2 runs as Ferguson did a great job to get down the line, and he is safe at first base, and 2-run score for the Trojans. So, Rick, recap that one for us.
Well, you got a strikeout, and you got I'm gonna say it's an E2 because that didn't bounce or anything unless you saw something different. But an E2, he gets to first base, and then 2-run score on that pass ball. Man, that's a tough one too because you look like you're out of the inning, only giving up a couple runs to this powerful Center Grove offense, and instead a third strike drop and 2-run score on that.
So the question is, does he get credit for the strikeout?
Yes.
So that's going to be 2 strikeouts
Yes.
here in the first for Anderson. And at the plate is Griffin Poor, senior catcher. He's in the hole, no balls, 2 strikes. Working from the stretch. Ferguson is at first base, and Poor steps out as Anderson was taking a little bit of time out there on the mound. Now he's ready to go. That one got away from him, and he gets away from the catcher. Ferguson's going to try to make it to second base. He slides in safely. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Poor, and now a runner in scoring position with Ferguson at second base.
Yeah, a little breaking ball there that didn't break too much. Pretty high pitch, and it just bounced out of Williams' mitt there. And another one that has a hard time squeezing it right now.
Yeah,
and just threw that one away.
And that's going to allow the run to score from third base. That's where they say you should just eat it.
Yep.
Do not make that throw. So another throwing error by the catcher. That's Cooper Williams. Allows Ferguson to score.
Yeah, and he kind of has a little bit of that sidearm motion when he throws, and that ball just tailed on him there, and Ferguson was able to come all the way around. Poor now has done a really good job of working this count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes after being down 0-2.
Full count. Here it's a Griffin Poor and a swing and a miss. So for Jaden Anderson, he gets 3 strikeouts. However, the Trojans, big 5 runs across here in the bottom of the first. Trojans lead it over LC in this mixed matchup here at Trojan Field. Today's game being presented by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is where it all started, with one man working out of his garage. And while the garage has gotten bigger, the values and commitment to service Dad started the company with over 30 years ago still drives what we do today.
We here at Peterman are committed to doing whatever it takes to provide one thing: protection you can trust from the family that cares.
For all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, call Peterman, your trusted, local, Bryant factory authorized dealer.
Great opening inning for the Center Grove Trojans. 5 runs across, leading LC as we get things underway here in the top of 2 at Trojan Field. Half swing, called a strike to Luke Floyd, the senior shortstop, batting number 5 tonight for LC. Rick, what do you think of the new tunes?
Just, is this on your playlist that you listen to get you fired up in the morning, or, with your first cup of coffee, or what do you use this one for?
Well, yeah, definitely morning music.
I like it, but you need to start figuring it out, put me in coach, that one, and into your playlist.
Floyd hit by the pitch, so he is aboard. Second base runner aboard tonight for LC.
This is always the half inning that you worry about from a coach's perspective. Your team just put up 5 runs, and you want your pitcher to go out there and just jam shot, but he did enough to get it out in the left field, and
runner slides into third. He is safe. Luke Floyd very aggressive all the way to third base. That's a single for Cooper Williams, the senior catcher. He struggled behind the plate, and he was able to. Was that Cooper?
Number 24,
yes, it was.
Elmore.
So he struggled behind the plate that inning, but he comes back and gets a nice hit.
And it was a pretty decent location by Wilson. He jammed him, but credit Williams with just getting enough to get it over Guilfoy's head there at third base, and then that grass in the outfield just slowed that up so much, and Sauter playing fairly deep in left field, and a good base running by Luke Floyd to make it all the way to third. So first and third, nobody out now for LC.
Bryce Elmore, number 7 batter, the DH. He's a junior. Strike 1. Runners at the corners.
What I was trying to say is this is the inning you don't want to allow them back in the game. You want to go out and try to get 3 up, 3 down. Obviously that's not going to happen this inning, but you want your pitcher to go out and not give that other team any kind of hope by scratching across 2 or 3 runs and getting themselves back in this ballgame. We'll see if Wilson can come all the way back.
Wilson in front. No balls, 2 strikes. Fastball just missed. 1-2 the counts. Bryce Elmore, DH. Runners at the corner.
Nice curveball.
Half swing. Oh. The infield umpire said he did not go. So 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Man, that's I thought the home plate umpire was just ringing him up right away when he first pointed at him. But he was pointing at It should be 2.
Could be 2. Culbertson steps on second on the first double play. Well done by the sophomore, Drew Culbertson. However, they do get a run in, so it's now a 5-1 ball game, Trojans.
Yep, double play, no RBI for Elmore. But a good job by Culbertson there,
Right
man.
fielder, number 11,
What a
Sean
cannon he
Coleman.
has there at shortstop. He just took that himself, stepped on the base, and beat Elmore by plenty of steps. So that hit by pitch comes around to score from the leadoff man, Floyd.
Tashawn Coleman, right fielder, junior, will step up. Batting number 8 tonight for the Bears. 5-1 Trojans. LC getting its first hit here in the second. First run also across. It's a deep to right field. Right fielder going back. That's Burrill to the warning track. And he makes a catch just shy of the warning track. How about that for the sophomore? Well done, young man.
Yeah, it wasn't textbook. He kind of drifted when he was out there. But, anytime battling the sun and battling that wind, nice catch by the sophomore out there in right field.
Well done. Going to the bottom of 2, Center Grove 5, Lawrence Central 1. This is Center Grove Trojan Baseball being presented by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is where it all started, with one man working out of his garage. And while the garage has gotten bigger, the values and commitment to service Dad started the company with over 30 years ago still drives what we do today.
We here at Peterman are committed to doing whatever it takes to provide one thing: protection you can trust from the family that cares.
For all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, call Peterman, your trusted, local, Bryant factory authorized dealer.
Center Grove will have 9-2-1, 9-1-2. How about that? I'm okay. 9-1-2 coming up here for the Trojans. Leading off will be Matthew Sauter, left fielder junior, followed up by Drew Culbertson and then Sam Griffith. As long as they bat in order. If they get out of order, I think somebody gets out.
That is true.
Not that I ever had that happen before.
Yep.
Center Grove leads at 5-1. Going to the bottom of 2. Center Grove putting up 5 runs in that first inning. Culbertson scored along with Mitchell Evans, hit a 2-run bomb. He's got a couple of RBIs. Guilfoyle scored, had a single back in the first. Harrison Burrell singled, also scoring, and Zach Ferguson also scored. So there's your 5 runs for the Trojans in the first inning.
Left fielder number 14.
Lawrence Central scored 1 in the second with Luke Floyd. First pitch from Anderson outside, ball 1.
Matthews had a good start as well. Been in the starting lineup here for a few games in a row, and he's got his batting average up to 500. 4 hits and 8 at-bats. Couple hits last night again. Couple doubles on the year, 3 RBIs, 4 runs scored for Matthew. Matthews won if he's able to get on base. He's got good wheels as well.
Rips this to left field.
Man, right at him.
Right at the left fielder. He makes the catch. Well done by Obie Wilson, the senior in left field. Didn't really have to move too much. Maybe a couple of steps to his, left, and then made the catch.
Yeah, and, Sauter hit
Drew
that
Culbertson.
perfectly. That curveball did exactly what you're supposed to do. He hung in there and then just stayed on it and drilled it to left field, but unfortunately for him, right at the left fielder, nice catch.
Top of the order, Drew Culbertson takes one high for ball 1. Culbertson walked, got a stolen base back in the first, scored the first run. Scored when Mitchell Evans went deep on a 2-run homer to right center field. Goes the opposite way.
Shot, yeah.
Right past the first baseman. Culbertson is aboard with his first hit tonight.
Yeah, I got to give that one a hit. I mean, just because it hit the lip, and that's what caused it to skip away from the first baseman. It wasn't anything that he did and it just barely hit the tip of his mitt. It's just one of those, what do they call that, Kevin? Cue shots that so much spin on that ball, and it hit the lip of the grass and just scooted by the first baseman. So Culberson's on for the second time this ball game. Exactly what you want out of your leadoff man.
Sam Griffith struck out looking back in the first. Rips one to the second baseman. This could be 2. They toss on to the second baseman, and they got him at second.
Wow. Oh, he called him out on the double play, saying Culbertson didn't get down quick enough.
So they're going to say Culbertson was forced out at second, and then the home plate umpire calls the runner at first base out. That's Griffith, and that will end the inning. So an interesting call, and Coach Hatfield not too happy with Culbertson on that slide. I don't know if it was a delayed slide or he just didn't get down soon enough, but
I don't.
He might have interference.
I think what he did actually was it was a heck of a play by the second baseman. He barehanded the throw to him. Culbertson was going to be close to being safe at second, but he did get him at second. I think what he did was he held his hand up and brushed against the leg of the second baseman and caused that interference call, and so double play.
After 2 completes here at Trojan Field, Center Grove 5, Lawrence Central 1 in this Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference matchup. Today's game being presented by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Peterman is Indy's trusted provider of all things heating, cooling, and plumbing. Since 1986, Peterman has been your local source for protection you can trust from the family that cares. Chad, Tyler, and Pete continue to be the driving force behind superior customer service and a work environment where our employees have voted us as an Indy Star top workplace several years in a row. We guarantee to give each customer an experience they will not soon forget. Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, proud to support the Trojans.
Box.
Ready for the top of the third. Center Grove in front, 5-1. Great start tonight for Jacob Wilson on the mound. That one gets away from the catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Saw a Peterman van in our neighborhood today, Kevin. We really appreciate them stepping up to be a sponsor for Center Grove sports, specifically baseball tonight, and a great local company that does a really good job.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Number 9 batter, Obi Wilson, senior left fielder. Just missed. 2-2 the count. Ground ball, shortstop, Culbertson.
Better arm.
Good arm, good release. Got him. 1 gone.
Yeah, that's a tough play. Obviously, Obi Wilson got great wheels, and he's going from that left side of the plate and hit it in the hole at shortstop, and Culbertson had to get rid of it quick, and an absolute gun over there to first base, and they got him by a step.
Top of the order. Ahmad Duff, freshman, struck out back in the first. Takes a hack here at the first one.
Pretty impressive, Kevin, for a freshman to be starting and leading off in the Mid-Conference.
Wow, great location with that fastball. Called a strike.
I don't think Duff agreed with that. He gave one of those calls that, or one of those looks back at the umpire. Pop-up.
Yeah, major league pop-up in the infield. Culbertson calls it out. 2 gone. DeJuan King, junior center fielder, struck out back in the first.
Number 2, DeJuan King.
Actually, here the coach and players are calling him DeJuan. So maybe we should change that to DeJuan King at the plate.
Call him Mr. King. How's
Mr.
that?
King.
Oh, nice breaking ball.
Very nice. Wilson tonight, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's given up 1 hit. 1 hit batter. This one's in the dirt. 1-1.
Good job by King of holding off on that one after that really nice first pitch curveball.
Inside once again. 2-1 the count. Center Grove back in action tomorrow. Makeup game with Warren Central on the road. 5:30 first pitch. Another conference game. CG beat the Warriors last week 6-0 in our first baseball stream of the year. Wow. That one got away. May have hit the mascot.
That's one of those. That's exactly what I was going to say. Is one of those dads was chirping a little bit too much, and Jacob decided to make sure they were awake back there.
3-1 the count to King. Tomorrow, Center Grove softball back in action, hosting Brownsburg. Steve McClure and I will be there with all the action. A couple of ranked teams in Class 4A, Center Grove and Brownsburg. Should be a great one tomorrow.
You got a ranked matchup in girls tennis tonight between Center Grove and Brownsburg as well. 10 versus 11 should be a really good matchup tonight out at Brownsburg.
A walk, second walk issued by Jacob Wilson tonight.
Number 1, Jaden Anderson.
So with a runner at first base, 2 gone. Wilson will work from the stretch, facing the number 3 batter, Jaden Anderson, who walked back in the first. Anderson, the senior pitcher tonight for the Bears. Takes a hack at the first one.
Yeah, that he had his head looking out towards left field, but got a good swing in it. But not a very big lead at first base by King so far. It does look like he's going, though.
Yep, he takes off. That's a good one to steal on. That one was low and very difficult for Poor to handle. Again, it was in the dirt, so he'll take second base without a throw.
Fastball in the dirt, and I think it landed on the plate. Very difficult to but you could tell King, not a great lead, but was definitely leaning towards second base, and he gets a stolen base.
1-1 the count. 2 gone, runner at second base. Hit his bat twice.
You know what, Kevin? You go to enough baseball games, you get to see something you haven't seen ever or for a while. The joys of baseball.
1-2. Anderson steps
Did he actually
out.
get? Oh,
They're going to
man.
say it's a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He
Yeah,
backed
didn't
out.
grant him. Yeah, he
Did not grant him a timeout, so the pitch does count. It was high. 2-2 the counts. This one's outside. The ball gets away from the catcher, Griffin Poor. Couldn't quite find it right away. That allows the runner to advance to third base. It will be a full count.
Yeah, this is where Wilson just needs to shut the door. I mean, he needs to quit nibbling around and just go to your best pitch and say, hey, if you can hit this, congratulations, you got to run.
3-2 payoff pitch. Just missed upstairs, a little high. So back-to-back walks allowed. Third one tonight in tonight's game by Jacob Wilson. So runners at the corners here for
Number
LC.
28, Charlie Hawk.
Charlie Hawk, junior first baseman, struck out back in the first. Wilson had 3 strikeouts in that first inning. Since then, no strikeouts.
He's going.
There goes the runner. Does not make the throw, so
Oh, wow. He called him out.
they're going to call the batter out for interference.
Interference, even though Poor didn't throw the ball.
So
He said
Charlie
he was out
Hawk.
in front of the plate. Yep.
Boy, we've seen a little bit of everything here tonight in this ball game. That is for sure. And you're not kidding. You said every time you go to the game, you're going to see something a little bit different. So the Trojans get out of the jam. Going to the bottom of 3. Center Grove leads at 5-1 over LC in this MIC matchup at Trojan Field. This is Center Grove Trojan Baseball.
Tyler, where did all these old busted up furnaces come from?
Well, Chad, they're from our customers. They really love our free furnace promo.
I don't know if we can keep this up much longer.
Free Furnace Blowout! Your final chance. Get a free Bryant furnace from Peterman when you buy a qualifying new AC system. This deal will end soon.
Whatever it takes to keep you comfortable.
Text HVAC to 41411 to claim your free furnace now.
Center Grove in front, 5-1. Here in the bottom of 3. Mitchell Evans, 2-run homer back in the first. Got the Trojans going in the right direction. He'll lead things off for CG. Takes the first one outside for ball 1. Rick Embry, your assessment so far of this performance between CG and LC?
I mean, Wilson hasn't been the sharpest. He would probably be the first one to say that, but he's still only allowed 1 run in 3 innings. So, he's done enough. And the offense after that first inning where he scored 5, 3 up, 3 down in that second inning. So we'll see if they can get the bats going again here in the third.
Called a strike.
2-0 breaking ball there. Evans was probably sitting fastball again like he did the first time when he deposited over the right center field fence.
3 home runs on the season for Mitchell Evans. He now leads CG with 11 runs batted in, 3-1 the count. Being very cautious with Mitchell Evans.
Yeah, we'll see if he brings him a fastball 3-1 or if he'll just try to nibble around that corner, try to get him to chase a pitch out of the strike zone.
Anderson's high. Mitchell Evans aboard with a walk.
And a good job of laying off of that. Sometimes that fastball that rises
Now batting number 3.
tends to look a little bit
Gilfoy.
tasty, and then it just keeps rising, and you can't catch up to it. Evans did a good job. Now leadoff man up. On board for Center Grove.
Owen Guilfoy singled back in the first and scored. Junior third baseman pops up the first pitch. Catcher runs out of room.
Boom.
Into the LC bleachers.
Evans at first base, 3 stolen bases on the year and 3 attempts. So we'll see, obviously, very good wheels.
Decent lead for Evans.
Now a really good lead.
Yeah, he went from decent to really good, and then Anderson steps off, bluffs the throw.
Well, and we haven't seen Anderson actually make that throw to first base yet. He's stepped off a couple times, but sometimes that indicates he's not real confident he's going.
Evans now leaning and now takes off, and again it gets away from the catcher, and he's had that ball pop out of that mitt numerous times tonight.
A lot of times you see that, Kevin, as you would know, if you got a new mitt that's not completely
Correct.
worked in, but it almost looks like he's taking either his eye off of it or the ball or something, and just not catching that squarely. But I mean, Evans had a great jump. He wasn't going to throw him out, but
Curveball called a strike.
That's a
1 and
good
2 to
pitch.
count to Guilfoy. I know it's not textbook, but again, you're not supposed to use your offhand, but a lot of times I would catch with my right hand on the back of the catcher's mitt, just providing some extra support behind the mitt.
that one looked better than the last
I don't know
one.
if it's low or inside. It's one or the other, but it is called a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Here's what Guilfoy needs to do now. He needs to just put the ball in play, try to hit the ball to right field, and move that runner over with 2 strikes.
Here comes the 2-2, and it was just off the plate, but you had to protect with 2 strikes. He went after it. Strikes out. 1 gone.
And a good location by Anderson that got Owen to chase it out there.
Number 2, Caden Curry.
3 strikeouts for Anderson.
That wind really blowing out the right field now, Kevin. Curry gets one of those up in the
Jet stream.
jet stream.
It is blowing out to right field. Tough pitch by Anderson. Called a strike.
Still getting a steady diet of breaking balls.
Anderson looks in for the sign. A quick check of Mitchell Evans at second base. Trying to keep Mitchell close.
Got
Shot down the right field line. It's a fair ball. Caden really fast. He's going around first into second base. He'll have a stand-up double and an RBI. 6-1 Trojans. Mitchell Evans scores for the Trojans.
We hesitated, Kevin, because we didn't know if the first baseman was going to get to it or not, but that ball just kept tailing away from him towards that first base line there, and got just inside that chalk at first base. So a big double there by Curry, and Center Grove tacks on another run.
Sophomore Garrison Burrill singled and scored back in the first. Curry at second base. Curveball low.
Man, and
Trojans,
Anderson,
5 hits.
yeah, after that first inning where he threw a lot of fastballs and Center Grove was on those fastballs, it's just he's really went to his breaking ball here in the last couple innings.
Fastball. 1-1 the count.
And that's the location. If you're going to get that call, you just stay out there and then you make those guys hit the ball to right field. You take away the power of them being able to pull the ball, and you just make them, be disciplined enough to just poke that ball into right field.
This one misses high. 2-1 the count to Garrison Burrill. Trojans 5 runs in the first, 1 so far here in the third. LC put up 1 run in the second. Trojans lead at 6-1 on 5 hits. This one's high.
3-1 now. Burrill's got to be looking for a pitch he can drive out of the park, and he's shown that he can do that.
Three-one pitch.
Outside.
Outside. Another walk by Anderson. Puts runners now at first and second base for the Trojans. Zach Ferguson, senior first baseman, at the plate.
2 good at-bats for Burrill so far. Again, single the first time on a 1-2
Now batting
pitch,
number 5, Zach
and then
Ferguson.
a walk here in the third inning.
This one's high.
And here's what you worry about that first inning. Anderson threw 34 pitches, Kevin. Now in the second inning, he only threw 5. He got 3 outs and 5 pitches. But this inning, he's already over 22 pitches and got a little bit of the benefit of a strike zone there. But you start to wonder, especially you're in. This is only their 4th game of the year, so. Don't really like to go much past 80 or 90 pitches for any of these guys this early.
Double steal, hit and run maybe have been on.
Yeah,
he fouls that one away.
I think that was a straight, or hey, if I get a good jump, I can go, because both Curry got a really nice jump there. I think he would have stole that, but Ferguson got a pitch that he thought he could drive, but just fouled it straight back, and now 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ferguson.
A lot of movement on that curveball.
Good discipline by Ferguson to not chase that one out there. Big hole there between second base and first base. Something you just want to, take that curveball and just poke it through the hole there to right field, and you'll get another run.
2 balls, 2 strikes here to the senior first baseman, Zach Ferguson. Lifts this one up. Looks like the first baseman will run out of room. So Ferguson back in the first inning. He struck out, but the ball was in the dirt. Got away from the catcher. He ran to first base, and the catcher made an errant throw to first. So he was safe, and 2 runs were able to score on the play for the Trojans.
Just your simple strike 3 missed, 2-run score.
From the stretch, the 2-2 lifts this one up in the
It's going to
infield.
be an infield fly rule. Doesn't matter
So
if he catches it or not. He
batter
doesn't.
is
You
out.
don't need to run. Do not run.
Curry's going to run. He's got that good speed. He does slide into third base safely. So runners at first and third, infield fly rule. So Ferguson is called out. So 2 gone, and very aggressive running by Caden Curry.
So the rule there, first and second, less than 2 outs, or bases loaded, less than 2 outs, infield fly. So any pop fly in the infield is an automatic out, and the runners then advance at their own risk. So if Curry gets thrown out there, he's out. But the ball did bounce away from the second baseman enough to where Caden could get to third. Now you got first and third, 2 outs. Burrill's going.
At the plate is Griffin Poor. Swings at the first pitch out of play. And you're right. Burrill had a good jump. He'll return back to first base. Runners at the corners here for the Trojans.
You got to figure Center Grove's going to try to squeeze out another one. Once again, another fake throw to first base. Anderson has yet to throw one over there. Burrill's got a really nice lead. There he goes.
The catcher makes
where's Curry?
a really good throw to.
Oh,
It was a good throw. Just dropped the ball at second base.
you're exactly right. He was out at second base, and Curry had 2 opportunities there to get home. One, he didn't go, and the ball went all the way through, and then 2, Burrell's slide jarred the ball loose from a second baseman and didn't get far enough away for Curry to get home.
1 ball, 1 strike to Poor. Nice curveball drops in there for strike 2. One-two pitch, curveball, chop foul, down the third base line.
Poor's choked up on the bat there with 2 strikes, just trying to get something he can find a hole there in the outfield to get these 2 big runs in.
Griffin Poor batting in the 8-hole tonight for the Trojans. Working from the stretch. Anderson, really good location. He's halfway to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I guess just off the plate.
Coach wasn't very happy either.
Coach
man.
McLean.
He's got 2 steps out towards the, clapping his hand, saying "Great pitch, great pitch." He got the look from the home plate umpire.
This one's high, full count.
Now you've run it full, Griffin Poor. Good job of battling back. Now you just need to try to finish the job and either work a walk or find a hole out there with an infield single or any kind of hit.
Payoff pitch. This one gets away from the catcher. Here comes Caden Curry, and he'll score. Poor will go on to second base with great speed, and Trojans lead it 7-1, and Center Grove have runners at second and third base. So again, Poor reaches on a walk.
Reaches on a walk and just a really good at-bat there by Brayton Spetter.
Courtesy runner number 26, Brayton Spetter, coming into the game. Now batting for your Trojans, number 14, Matthew Sauter.
Poor down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and fought all the way back there and got it, worked a walk, and then that 4th ball, it squirted away from the catcher again, allowing Curry to score. Burrell to go to third, and then Poor kept running all the way to second base. So 2 on still, 2 outs with Matthew Sauter up.
3 walks by Anderson in this inning. He's got 4 in the ball game. Coach McLean out to talk with Anderson in the infield. 7-1. Trojans lead it. Runners at second and third base. Batter will be Matthew Sauter. Lined out to the left fielder back in the second. He tattooed it, but right to the left fielder. Obi Wilson made a nice catch out in left field.
I'm watching the head coach still looking at the home plate umpire. He's shaking his head. He wanted that 1-2 pitch. Yeah, and I mean, that's just a trip out to the mound to calm Anderson down a little bit and just say, hey, look, come get this guy, number 9 hitter. We need this guy. Right back at us.
Sauter right on it.
And we got a nice solid fence in front of us, Kevin. A few years back, I think it was a softball game that we had that not a fence in front of us or a couple balls that were able to sneak back in the press box.
This is high. 1 ball, 1 strike to Matthew Sauter, junior left fielder.
You're right, Matthew was right on that first time up, line drive to left field, but right at the left fielder. We'll see if he can find a hole this time.
Took something off that. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Matthew Sauter.
You got to figure he's going to look at that outside corner fastball. That's what I'm throwing here on 1 ball, 2 strike. High heat.
swing. High heat. Gets the strikeout, gets out of the inning. After 3 complete here at Trojan Field. Center Grove Trojans in front 7-1 over LC in this Metropolitan Interclassic Conference showdown here at Trojan Field. Today's game being presented by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. This is Trojan Baseball.
This is where it all started, with one man working out of his garage. And while the garage has gotten bigger, the values and commitment to service Dad started the company with over 30 years ago still drives what we do today.
We here at Peterman are committed to doing whatever it takes to provide one thing: protection you can trust from the family that cares.
For all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, call Peterman, your trusted, local, Bryant factory authorized dealer.
Luke Floyd will lead it off for the Lawrence Central Bears here in the top of the 4th inning. His team trailing Center Grove 7-1. Only 1 hit so far for the Bears here in tonight's McClash. Jacob Wilson, 6'7" junior, throwing tonight for the Trojans. He gets ahead in the count here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Been pretty efficient so far. 15 pitches in the first inning, 10 in the second, and then 20 in the third inning. So 45 pitches through 3 innings for Wilson.
Gets the strikeouts. 4 strikeouts in tonight's game for Wilson.
Number 12, Cooper Williams.
Number 6 batter Cooper Williams singled. The only hit tonight for the Bears back in the 2nd inning. Strike 1 to Williams. This one's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Williams.
LC's got Bryce Elmore, I believe, throwing in the pen out there, so he might be
good arm. Well done by Jacob Wilson. Had to get off the mound, took his time. Great arm.
It's one of those you worry about, Kevin, that they try to force or rush to first base, and knowing you got a really good arm, obviously like Wilson does, you just field it cleanly, take your little crow hop and throw it to first base, and then hope you don't handcuff the first baseman. But good catch by Ferguson and good second out there by Wilson.
New batter here for Lawrence Central. This will be Bryson Luter, the freshman third baseman. He will hit in place of the DH, Bryce Elmore. Swings at the high heat.
Yeah, it looks like they'll bring in Elmore probably to pitch when they'll bring him in to pitch next inning. But Luker will probably move to the DH spot, and then he's already told Jaden Anderson, the pitcher, that he was going to third base. Jammed him. Let's see if he's got enough room.
In foul territory, Ferguson does have room, and he makes the catch.
Very good inning by Wilson there. 10 pitches on the inning.
Very efficient. Going to the bottom of 4. Center Grove leads at 7-1 over LC. This is Center Grove Trojan Baseball.
Call Peterman for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs. Hi, I'm Chad Peterman.
And I'm Tyler Peterman. For over 30 years, we've been your local source for protection you can trust.
If you have issues with your HVAC or plumbing system, let the family that cares take care of your home.
Give us a call today, and your service call is free with any repair.
Or put our service to the test with a free second opinion.
Call Peterman for heating, cooling, and plumbing. Peterman's the way to go.
Center Grove girls tennis playing tonight on the road at Brownsburg. CG ranked number 11, 3-1 on the season. Brownsburg number 10. Rickett be at the Center Grove Tennis Center this Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning, hosting Carmel, who's ranked number 2 in the state. We'll have the live stream of Center Grove Carmel coming up this Saturday morning from the CG Tennis Center. Coach David Burton's got this very young CG tennis team playing really well at the moment, Rick Embry.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that match on Saturday, and I'm trying to get an update right now from Brownsburg on how they're doing out there. But good start to the season, only one loss, and that was the number 3, Columbus North, and they lost that 3-2, so had a chance to win that one. Beat number 6 Terre Haute South pretty badly, 5-0, and then last night they beat number 24 North Central 5-0, so good start so far. Like you said, another tough matchup tonight. Number 10 Brownsburg, number 11 Center Grove. So good 2 matches there, and looking forward to doing one against one of the big boys, and that's always Carmel in tennis.
Pitching change for Lawrence Central. Bryce Elmore Jr., lefty, throwing now for the Bears. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, something a little bit different, Kevin. 2 straight breaking balls there by Elmore. So not as much fastball-wise so far, and so far he's hasn't found the strike zone there, and 3 pitches to Drew.
Culbertson leading things off. He is 1 for 1 tonight. Walked and scored back in the first, had a stolen base, singled in the second. 3-0 counts.
3-0 pitch.
Had the green light. High fly ball to right field, and it will be out number 1. Tashawn Coleman, the junior, makes the catch.
Gave him the green light, and thought he had a pitch to hit, but just got under it too much there, and a pretty lazy fly ball to right field.
Also tonight, the Center Grove boys golf team ranked number 3 in the state at Hickory Stick, taking on Plainfield. The boys golf team this past Saturday won the Floyd Central Invitational. Shot a team score 306, very impressive for the CG boys golf team. Their first outing since 2019. That would have been the state finals. They were runner-up in 2019. Of course, last year the season wiped out the spring sports season. This one's high. 2 balls, no strikes to Sam Griffith.
Got some talented kids on that team as well, Kevin. You got 3 of them that are going to play collegiate golf, and Hefner, Sam Slaughter, and Austin Shelley as well, and then some very good juniors on that team as well. So another loaded golf team, which is Coach Rodman's had for the last few years, obviously.
On 3-0, taking all the way. Call to strike. 3-1 to Sam. And again tomorrow, Center Grove softball back in action, ranked number 6 in 4A. Hosting number 14 Brownsburg at 5:30. CG softball 8-2 on the season, 2-0 in the conference. This will be a non-conference game against Brownsburg tomorrow. We'll be there with the live stream. And then on Saturday, the softball team will go to Northwestern High School up in Kokomo to play a doubleheader against number 11 Penn. So he is aboard with a walk. That is Sam Griffith at first base. Mitchell Evans, 2-run homer, got the Trojans started back in the first. Also walked in the third, had a stolen base, and scored in the third.
That's a good breaking ball.
Elmore having some difficulty finding the strike zone here in relief, but that sure was a nice looking pitch as he works from the stretch. This one's in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. That'll be a wild pitch. And Griffith will round second base, try to get to third base, slides in safely all the way to third base. Very aggressive running by Sam Griffith.
Yeah, very good base running there, Kevin. You're exactly right. He didn't hesitate at second base. You know, one of those where they hear him say, stand up, stand up, stand up, and he just rounded second and saw that the catcher was still having a hard time.
That one got away from Cooper Williams, the senior catcher. And that's a fastball over the top of Williams, and here comes Griffith. He's going to slide in. He is safe. 8-1 Center Grove. Scores on the wild pitch.
Yeah, there was no chance for Williams there. That ball was well over his head and almost ricocheted back to Williams where he had a chance to all I could see is a collision there at the plate, Kevin, as he started going back and Griffiths coming at the same time. But Griffiths was able to beat it there, and another run on the board for Center Grove, now 8-1.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 the count to Mitchell Evans. Also for the boys golf team on Saturday, they'll be hosting the Trojan Classic at 1 o'clock at Hickory Stick. Stephen will be out there with some coverage of the Trojan Classic on Saturday.
That's going to be a tough one. That wind blowing the way it is.
Into right field,
Yeah.
and it drops in there. Mitchell Evans around second base with the great wheels. Throw not in time. He'll get all the way to third base. So, Rick, does that go down as a triple?
I mean, you got to give him a triple. It's not an error, and he didn't hit his mid or anything like that. So, yeah, a wind-blown triple.
I like it.
Now
So,
batting
so
number
for
3,
Evans
Olin
tonight, a home
Gilfoyle.
run, a walk, and a triple.
He's got the two toughest ones, doesn't he?
He sure
For the
does.
cycle.
That is correct.
Question is he going to get enough at-bats to get the other two? Yeah, as soon as that ball goes up, it's a tough play for the second baseman, and that right fielder with the way that wind is just swirling. That's a really tough play out there. And
Owen Guilfoyle takes the ball.
and credit Evans for not slowing down at all. He saw how much, he came out of the box and saw how much he was struggling out there in right field, and he just kept running and made it into third now. So, you're at third base, and now you can score on one of those pass balls or wild pitches.
1 ball, 1 strike to Owen Guilfoyle. Single back in the first, scored in the first, struck out in the third. Center Grove boys and girls track and field last night in competition down at Bloomington North. Girls team victorious. The boys lost in a close one. Saw Connor Delp on the hurdles. Very impressive. He's trying to make it to state this year.
Yeah, I think there's a few kids for Center Grove track that's, oh my, fair ball. Oh,
Just foul. Some oohs and ahs from the Center Grove fans. Just left of that base at third.
that's where in the majors that might be one I want to look at in the dugout, because it went over the bag, which is technically what it's supposed to do, but then it's one of those. What's the rule, Kevin? You got to extend the bag up, almost like it's up in the air, and determine if it passed over the bag fair or not.
That one's in the dirt. He did swing. The catcher throws to first, and he is out at first base.
Good swing, Al.
So 2 gone.
That was fair.
First strikeouts in relief
Number
here
2,
for
Caden Curry.
Bryce Elmore. So 2 gone, and Mitchell Evans still at third base with Caden Curry. Digs in from the left side of the plate. Curry had a double, RBI, scored, back into third.
Got a good
Big
cut on that one.
swing.
Oh, yeah.
Sure did. He got his money's worth on that
Not
one.
get cheated, exactly right. I like it.
Lefty versus lefty. This is a tough matchup for Curry. Typically, it's a tough matchup for the left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher. Fouls that one away. 0-2 the count here to Caden Curry.
And in most cases here, I'd say, as a pitcher, I want to bounce this one and see if he'll swing in it. But the problem that you got is you bounce it and it gets by the catcher, then he gets to first base and you can get another run against you. So you really got to be careful. Yeah, nice piece of hitting.
Rips it to right field for an RBI single. That's a lot of strength right there by Caden Curry.
And that's weird, Kevin, because he looked better in that at-bat against that lefty. I know he had a double the first time.
Number 18, Garrison Burrell.
Or the second time up. But, he looked comfortable, really comfortable there, like he saw the ball better from that lefty than he has a lot of times from righties. And that's unusual, but credit him, 0-2 pitch. It was on the outside part of the plate, and he just still drove it, pulled it through that hole between first and second.
Garrison Burrell singled and scored in the first, walked in the third. Takes the first pitch for ball one. Checking Curry back to first base. Want to make sure he goes home with a dirty uniform.
Mission accomplished. Poor his poor mom. Maria's gonna have to wash that one now. Not that she wouldn't anyway. Oh, my, that ball smoked by Burrell. Goodbye, baseball. Oh, my.
Right center field, his second home run of the season. That one's a 2-run shot by the sophomore.
That is big boy power right there. Oh, my goodness, a no-doubter. He got it on the outside half of the plate and just absolutely crushed that. That went halfway up on one of those trees. That's one the right fielder takes one step and doesn't even bother with the rest. Wow, what power by Burrell.
11-1 Trojans by 10 runs. Burrell again, his second round tripper this season.
And once again, remember, Burrell didn't get into the starting lineup until this is his fifth game on the year. So the first two games he didn't see the lineup. And oh my, that guy right now 2 for 2 tonight puts him over 500 on the year. So he's now 7 for 13 on the year with 2 dingers and 5 RBIs. So welcome to varsity baseball, young man.
In foul territory, does he have room?
He did, but
he
he didn't
had
make it.
room,
Yeah.
but he up against the fence cannot make the catch. That's
Well, it's
Charlie Hawk, the junior.
Not just the fence, that wind is so
Unpredictable.
yes.
Making things very difficult.
Yeah, you got the wind, and then you're also obviously on that right side of the field at Trojan Park here. The sun always is.
Gets the strikeout. Big inning for the Trojans. 4 runs here in the 4th inning. Center Grove leads it by 10, 11-1 over the Lawrence Central Bears in tonight's Metropolitan Interscholastic Conference game. The Trojans trying to go to 3-0 in league play. This is Center Grove Trojan Baseball, proudly presented by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
This is where it all started, with one man working out of his garage. And while the garage has gotten bigger, the values and commitment to service Dad started the company with over 30 years ago still drives what we do today.
We here at Peterman are committed to doing whatever it takes to provide one thing: protection you can trust from the family that cares.
For all your heating, cooling, and plumbing needs, call Peterman, your trusted, local, Bryant factory authorized dealer.
Welcome back to Trojan Field. Kevin Conrad, Rick Embry with you tonight. 11-1 Trojans by 10. Top of the 5th inning. Deshaun Coleman fouls off the first one. CG need 3 more outs for the victory. 0-2 the count to Coleman. Couple of home runs tonight by the Trojans. Mitchell Evans back in the first, and how about the sophomore, Garrison Burrill?
Both of those to that right center. We talked about it. You hit one to left field today, and you're going to earn that one. But both of those to right center where that wind is blowing out. And, man, that one by Burrill was a no-doubter.
2-2 the count to Coleman. Half swing, did he go? I want to appeal that one.
Yeah, I definitely would have asked.
There's no appeal.
It's up to
Full
the catcher,
count.
isn't it?
Well, no, you got to ask the home
Oh.
plate umpire in high school baseball. Believe me, I learned that many years ago, but he does come back and gets the strikeout. One gone.
I think that home plate umpire might have realized that pitch before was pretty close.
In the pros, the catcher can ask
Yeah.
for the appeal, but in high school, you got to ask the home plate umpire. He's
then
got to
he's
ask
gotta-
for the appeal because he can wave it off. He can say yes, he can say no. Well, let me tell you, I've irritated a few umpires back in the day by asking the umpire in the field to make the call, and home plate umpire always says no. You got to ask me first. Obi Wilson, I believe, at the plate. Yes, that's going to be Obi. 0 for 1 tonight.
Grounded out to shortstop on a really nice play by Culberson the first time. I mean, Culberson, big, strong arm, beat Wilson. He got down the line and very fast.
1 ball, 2 strikes. We mentioned CG playing tomorrow at Warren Central in the makeup conference game, but how about the game on Saturday? Going to play number 1 team in the state, Columbus North. CG lost to Columbus North up at the Noblesville Invite championship game, 10-zip. So you know there's going to be some pride here by the Trojans going down to Columbus North on Saturday to trying to get that rematch win.
And that's one that, you know, at the start of the week, that's the one that you're looking at, but you got to make sure you take care of business in these conference games, which they've done. You know, if they're able to hang on here, you know, the first 2, and then you try to get the one at Warren tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, that I went to that first game up in Noblesville in this championship game, and I mean, Columbus North just outplayed them. They took advantage of walks and quite a few errors by Center Grove, and I mean, they didn't hit the ball. I think they had 3 hits, but they scored 10 runs and shut Center Grove out. Pitcher did a really good job of mixing speeds, and they beat Center Grove 10-0. So we'll see if the matchup the next time is any different on Saturday.
There's strike 3. Delayed call by the home plate umpire.
Do you think he's hungry too, Kevin?
I think so. I know I am.
Top of
I'm
the
all
order
good
for
with
Bears.
the
Now
with the
batting
call.
number 9,
2 gone at
Ahmad
the top
Duff.
of the order. Ahmad Duff, freshman, 0 for 2 tonight. Inside. So that game on Saturday at Columbus North. First pitch scheduled for 1 o'clock. Again, the Bulldogs ranked number 1 in 4A. Center Grove number 5 in 4A. Next week, the Trojans on Tuesday at Lawrence North for a 5:30 conference game. Next Wednesday, back here, home at Trojan Field to take on the Lawrence North Wildcats at 5:30. We'll be back with the live stream next Wednesday of CG Baseball when they again host Lawrence North. Call to strike.
So next week they got the 2 Lawrence Norths, and then they have is it Plainfield on Friday next week, I believe, Kevin?
Might be.
And
I have
then-
to pull out my
yeah.
schedule.
I thought you just have all these different schedules memorized, Kevin. I thought
Roncalli next week.
Roncalli next
Home.
Friday. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be here for the Lawrence North game and the Roncalli game on the 23rd.
Here we go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, Kevin. 1 more strike, and you can go get some grub.
And it's chopped foul down the third base line.
Job
Hanging
by
alive.
Duff, yep.
Two pitch.
Oh, nice
curveball.
Ball game.
Strikes him out looking. Wow, what a way to end the ball game. 3 straight strikeouts, all looking here in this final inning. The Center Grove Trojans win it tonight 11-1. Trojans celebrating the conference win, the sweep over the Lawrence Central Bears. Center Grove winning last night at LC. 13-zip, 11-1 here tonight. Great job by the junior right-handed pitcher, Jacob Wilson. He moves to 2-0 on the season. Stay tuned. Rick and I'll be back with our post-game show to recap tonight's big win for the Trojans. CG undefeated in conference play at 3-0, 7-1 overall. CG back at it next, or tomorrow at Warren Central at 5:30. This is CG Baseball.
Tyler, where did all these old busted up furnaces come from?
Well, Chad, they're from our customers. They really love our free furnace promo.
I don't know if we can keep this up much longer.
Free furnace blowout. Your final chance. Get a free Bryant furnace from Peterman when you buy a qualifying new AC system. This deal will end soon.
Whatever it takes to keep you comfortable.
Text HVAC to 41411 to claim your free furnace now.
Welcome back to Trojan Field here on the post-game show. Final score tonight, Center Grove 11, Lawrence Central 1. Trojans 8 hits. A couple of home runs tonight. Mitchell Evans goes deep in the first. Also sophomore Garrison Burrill hitting a 2-run homer tonight in the fourth. Jacob Wilson gets the win on the mound. He's 2-0 on the season. 7 strikeouts for the junior. Center Grove 3-0 in the conference at Warren Central for a conference game tomorrow at 5:30. Kevin Conrad along with Rick Embry with you. One final tonight from Trojan Field. And overall, Rick, just another solid performance by the Trojans in all facets of the game.
Yeah, and you start with the pitching, Kevin, and it's pretty impressive when you can throw 2 kids out there, 10 innings pitched, give up 3 hits, and only one run between Drew Young last night and Jacob Wilson tonight, and Wilson, did a really good job. 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, like we talked about, 3 walks, 1 hit by pitch, and then 7 strikeouts. But he was real dominant in the last 2 innings. He set down the last 6 guys and only threw 30 pitches doing that. So Jacob keeps getting stronger, and that's what you're trying to shoot for. But man, when you can have that 1-2 punch on the hill there, and it really helps you with the conference games during the week, and those guys will continue to be the 1 and the 2 for Center Grove in the foreseeable future. So, yeah, from the pitching side of things, you're exactly right. And then hitting, I mean, you mentioned the 2 guys with the big hits tonight. Mitchell Evans, 2-run homer in the first, a triple in the fourth, so 2 for 2 with a walk, and then Burrill's the same way, 2 for 2, a single in the first, walk in the third, and then a big 2-run bomb in the bottom of the fourth, which was the clinching 2 runs that got him to the 10-run 5-inning win. So credit those guys, but 8 hits total for Center Grove, and just like you said, an all-around really good job.
Also, Caden Curry hit the ball well tonight. A couple of RBIs. He had a single and a double, scored twice, and you throw in there Drew Culbertson, that leadoff position. just getting on base. Again, he got off in that first inning to a great start with a walk, and then, of course, Mitchell Evans comes up, hits a 2-run shot. But when you're in that leadoff spot, just got to find a way to get on base, and that's what Drew Culbertson did tonight. And in the second inning, he reached on a single. So, again, just an all-around great performance for the Trojans. And, Rick, let's map out a little bit about what's ahead here for the Trojans with that schedule. We mentioned tomorrow at Warren Central, the makeup game, 5:30. That's a conference game, so obviously that's huge for the Center Grove Trojans. On Saturday, they're going to take on the number 1 team in the state in Columbus North in a rematch. And but, again, it's all about winning tomorrow. You can't take Warren Central for granted. Obviously, it's a conference game, so you got to do everything you can to win your league games. And so the Trojans will be at Warren Central tomorrow, and then next week, next Tuesday, at Lawrence North, and then they'll return back here to Trojan Field next Wednesday to host the Wildcats. And Rick and I'll be here for that game. And then next Friday, CG will host Ron Colley for a non-conference game, and we're scheduled to be here for that game as well. So that's a look at the Trojan schedule the rest of this week and into next week. Some pretty tough ball games coming up for the Trojans.
You're right. And that Warren Central, the first time we played them, we did that game here, Kevin, last week. It was only a 6-0 game. I mean, Drew Young pitched very well for Center Grove through a complete game against Warren Central, but 6-0 was the score. Now, what you got to look for tomorrow is you're going to have different guys pitching, obviously. And if Warren's had 2 games this week, which I would imagine already, just like Center Grove, they're into their 3rd and 4th, maybe 5th pitchers. Center Grove's only used 2 pitchers in 2 nights, so they got a lot of arms out of that bullpen. So we'll see that, and then I think the one that they've been looking for a little bit. You take care of business tomorrow night, and then you go down to Columbus and you see if they can do anything different on Saturday against Columbus North, and hopefully have a different result, because you're able to win that one, and you're probably going to go from 5th to probably a top 2 or 3 in the state. So we'll see. Take care of business tomorrow over at Warren, and then should be a really good ball game on Saturday.
One final note before we wrap things up here from Trojan Field, our sponsor tonight. A big thank you to Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Now through the end of April, get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying Bryant AC system from Peterman. Give Peterman a call, 317-888-4700. Again, 317-888-4700. Or visit them online at petermanheating.com to schedule your free estimate today. A big thank you to Peterman for being our presenting sponsor tonight for CG Baseball. So, Rick, I guess I'll see you on Saturday morning.
Better bring your long johns, Kevin. I think 44 is what it looks like at first serve. So, the hot chocolate, the long johns, and we got, I'm getting some results, some pretty good results so far from girls tennis over there. The 3 spots won the first set. 1 singles is already done with a win by Center Grove. So they win tonight, and you're looking at a matchup between 2 top 11 teams in the state on Saturday, and hopefully we'll have a good match.
Sounds great. That'll be number 2 Carmel here at CG against the number 11 CG girls tennis team Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. So until then, Rick, have a great one. We'll see you then.
Thank you, Kevin. You too.
Tonight's game was presented by Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and produced by CG Sports Network. Once again, Center Grove beating LC here at Trojan Field 11-1. Trojans now 7-1 on the season, 3-0 in conference play. Lawrence Central 2-2 on the season, 2-2 in conference play. Center Grove back at it tomorrow at 5:30 for a conference game at Warren Central. Our next live web stream will be tomorrow when the number 6 Center Grove softball team hosts number 14 Brownsburg at 5:30. Until next time, this is Kevin Conrad for Rick Embry saying so long, everyone, from Trojan Field at Center Grove High School.